Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Mr. Samip Century and I'm here to help you understand urban sociology. In this video, I'll be talking to you about urbanization. Urbanization is a process by which people living in predominantly rural areas move to towns and cities. It involves expansion of urban places or an increase in the size of existing cities. However, growth of population is only one aspect of urbanization. It also includes modernization and social change. Urbanization can also be understood as an increase in the proportion of people living in urban area as compared to rural areas. It is also called urban sprawl. Let us move to the history of urbanization. Urbanization is not a recent phenomenon. Its history can be traced back to the period when human beings started practicing farming and leading settled lives. They moved to regions that had fertile soil and a warm and rainy climate. With the domestication of animal and innovations made in the method of irrigation, human settlements expanded and villages came into existence. The invention of the wheel revolutionized the transportation system, enabling humans to move from one place to another easily. This also allowed humans to socialize and trade goods. Talking about urbanization, the causes were of urbanization: population growth, industrialization, rural-urban transformation, employment opportunities, education, standard of living, and transportation. Let us discuss further these points in details. Population growth is one of the main reasons for urbanization. The growth in population can be natural, that is, it is caused by an increased birth rate or because of migration. As I have discussed about migration in the other videos, so you can also refer that video for to know more about migration. People migrate from rural areas to urban areas for better jobs and living conditions. As a result, urban areas such as towns and cities expand, causing rapid urbanization. The transformation of a non-industrial region to an industrial one is also one of the causes of urbanization. The establishment of industries creates new jobs in cities. As a result, unemployed people from villages move to cities in search of jobs. The mechanization of farms in villages causes loss of job to the farmers who move to urban areas to work and make a living. Developing nations are currently going through a phase of rapid industrialization, and therefore the rate of urbanization is higher in developing countries and less in developed countries. An increase in the income and the number of working people creates a demand for new or more housing space for individuals. This encourages developers to rapidly construct new houses, and this is how there's a transformation from rural to urban. The rapid development of housing and other urban industries causes uncontrolled urban expansion. Employment opportunities. Urban centers provide better employment opportunities, and which, when agricultural income becomes low, people from the rural regions migrate to the urban centers. This prospect of a job in the organized sector and job security draws people from rural to urban areas. And talking about education, people from rural regions seek admission in educational institutions in urban regions that generally provide better education. And consequently, educational institutes have started mushrooming in cities to accommodate these students. This also leads to urbanization. Generally, living and property costs are higher in the city areas uh, than in the countrysides, which encourages countryside development. A majority of urban residents seeks to settle within the core cities, but a lower cost of living and um, property attracts them to the countrysides. This causes the urbanization of the countrysides or suburban regions. Transportation. Transportation routes provides easy access to urban centers. The construction of expressways and highways causes congestion in the cities, and roads are commonly considered as a major catalyst of urban sprawl. The development of the urban economy and job opportunities are also directly dependent on transportation facilities. Urban centers are built for making life more comfortable. So they can be cities or even small towns. And let us learn more about the urban centers. In these centers, the administrative towns or cities are established because of certain historical, political, or strategic reasons. For example, New Delhi in India, Ottawa in Canada, and London in the United Kingdom are some examples of administrative towns. These cities usually serve as the capitals of states or countries. You can see the 45 towns or cities that are established for defense are called military or defense towns. The headquarters of the army, naval, and the air forces are located in such towns or cities. And cultural centers are of three types, and these are educational centers, entertainment centers, and religious centers. Cities or towns that have many educational institutions, art galleries, and libraries are called educational urban centers. Cambridge, Heidelberg, and Leiden are some examples of educational urban centers. Many entertainment towns have developed at tourist centers, and some have noted theater like Stratford upon Avon, the birthplace of William Shakespeare. Hollywood in California, Cannes in southern France, and Ramosi Film City in India are some examples of entertainment towns. Religious centers have important place of worship or a pilgrimage site for people all over the world. The Vatican City, Varanasi, and Haridwar in India, Lourdes in France, and Mecca in Saudi Arabia are some example of religious centers. And lastly, manufacturing centers are cities or towns that have the major banks, transports and communication centers, and marketplaces. For example, Jamshedpur, Durgapur, and Vilai are such manufacturing centers in India. Further, let us move on to the impacts of urbanization now. Urbanization may have both positive and negative impacts. However, its negative impacts are generally more pronounced because urbanization is often uncontrolled. The consequences of urbanization can be evaluated based on its socioeconomic and environmental effects. Often, these overlap or may have several indirect impacts. The major consequences of urbanization are as follows: the higher living costs, traffic congestions, impacts on wildlife and ecosystem, poor air quality, and water pollution. So, discussing this in details, urbanization leads to an increase in living cost, and overpopulation leads to an increase in the demand of public services. And for the maintenance and improvement of urban infrastructure, such as fire station, police station, schools, hospitals, roads, drinking water, and sanitations. Therefore, the cost at which these services are available also increases. Services such as waste and recyclable collections, mail delivery, street cleaning becomes costlier with an increase in their demands. And another negative impact is that traffic congestion is increased, and it flows from the suburban to the central city, leading to more fuel consumption. This causes traffic congestion. More cars on roads covering greater distances also causes traffic gridlock. Traffic gridlock is like when vehicle moves uncontrollably from all direction and causes traffic jam. An increase in the population of a region may lead to an alteration of ecosystem, and this is one of the adverse impact on the wildlife and ecosystem. Development associated with urbanization decreases the amount of forest area, farmlands, and open space. The spread of urban sprawl into rural natural areas such as forest and wetland is one of the primary reasons for wildlife habitat loss. Roads, power lines, and pipelines often pass through natural areas, fragmenting forest. The fragmentation of a large forest into small patches also disrupts the ecological balance and reduces the availability of habitats for some species. Some forest fragments are too small to maintain a viable population of certain wildlife species too. Another adverse impact is the poor air quality. The urbanization leads to an increase in fossil fuel consumption and emission of greenhouse gases, and is often like cited as the main cause of air pollution. Increased use of automobiles adds more air pollutants such as carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxides, nitrogen oxides, and microscopic particles in the atmosphere. These pollutants can affect plant growth, create smog and acid rains, and contributes to the global warming and also causes serious health problems. Urbanization has a serious impact on water resources. Rainwater does not soak into the ground because of increased urban construction, and underground aquifers are not replenished. Urban growth and sprawls leads to an increase in the volume of total surface runoff. Therefore, urban areas are exposed to increased flood hazard, inundation, and erosion, which in turn leads to an increase in water pollution from runoff contaminated with garden chemicals and motor oil. Pollutants are consumed by humans when they eat contaminated fish and affected water bodies, and when they drink from contaminated uh, surface water or groundwater sources. So the impact of urbanizations are like the higher living costs, traffic congestion, and on wildlife and ecosystem, and poor air quality and water pollution. There are others impacts also, but for now we'll discuss this much. Now, moving on to the smart cities. We know that the cities are benchmark of development, but at the same time, they face challenges related to a growing population, which leads to multiple problems as well. Countries all over the world are trying to find a solution to this problem. In order to combat the negative effects of urbanization, smart cities are being set up in most of the developing nations of the world. Smart cities provide core infrastructure, a decent quality of life, a clean and sustainable environment. Smart cities are expected to reduce the problems related to urban centers such as water scarcity, traffic congestions, and urban, unplanned growth also. And the smart cities will have adequate supply of clean drinking water, assured electricity provisions, and eco-friendly solar panels for street lights and then lights in the parks areas, efficient sanitization and garbage disposal facilities to keep the cities clean and hygienic, special safety measures and parks for old people and children, eco-friendly surrounding to protect the environment, and well-planned traffic flow to avoid traffic congestions during the busy hour of the day. And there is also free Wi-Fi zone for easy communication and even efficient waste management. The municipalities in small towns and corporations of big urban centers play a significant role in keeping the city clean. And these are the efforts at local level. Their main responsibilities are a regular supply of clean drinking water, taking care of the environment by careful disposal of solid waste and proper sanitization, easy transportation and communication within the city, constructing roads and flyovers for organized traffic flow within the urban areas and avoid traffic congestions, planning the use of available land properly and efficiently, perceiving open space for the parks and gardens and tree plantations, and mapping of the residential, industrial, administrative areas and marketplaces within the demarcated urban areas. So we have seen these smart cities are really smart because they try to cater to the needs of the growing population as well. With this, we have come to the end of this topic, the urbanization. Let us quickly recapitulate what we have discussed now. We have said that urbanization is a process by which people, instead of living in predominantly rural areas, start living in towns and cities. And population growth is one of the main reasons behind urbanization. The consequences and significance of urbanization can be evaluated based on its socioeconomic and environmental effect. For those who would like to learn more, watch my other videos, and for more infos and updates related to sociology, subscribe the channel. So keep learning. Thank you.